Let's see. All right, everyone. Welcome to the Spin Rundown. It is September 20th and big show today. And we're going to start out with Rebecca Fuselier. Invited her on last minute, and she was gracious enough to join us. So, I wanted to catch up with you. And, last time I think we talked in person was at Wodapalooza.
Mm-hmm.
And, unfortunately weren't able to make it to the games this year. And so I wanted to kind of catch up first and just find out what's been going on since semifinals. What have you been working on? I think I probably know the answer, but
Oh yeah.
how's training been going? And we'll start from that.
Oh, it's been going great. And if you're any bit of like, well, if you know me or any of like, I don't want to speak for all the other games athletes, but anyone who's like trying to make it to the CrossFit Games, we're obsessed, and it's very hard to take that downtime that's much needed. But it was definitely after the results of semifinals hard to keep me down, and wanting to get right back to work and really keep building and getting bigger. So, I mean, we've been busy working hard and I've been enjoying all of it, but I am definitely itching to get back out on the competition floor.
What was your mindset, I guess, coming off of, obviously a great 2022? 2023 didn't come out as well as you had hoped. Did you take time to be like just kind of frustrated? I mean, or was it like, no, I'm back as soon as I could and start training again?
Oh yeah, I was definitely had my up and down moments, and I think I've learned this from I've been a competitor my whole life, and it's just as you get more and more years under your belt, you learn that like the emotions are going to come and go, and you just got to ride them out a little bit and try to use them to your advantage. So I definitely left semifinals like frustrated but at the same and a little bit heartbroken. Obviously you wanted that same great feeling that you get that we got in 2022, but I mean it's just it's a long story we're trying to build, and if that's what needed to happen to help us keep going up and getting bigger and stronger, like I'll take it. I'll put all those emotions to use. Like there was it was a hard pill to swallow with semifinals, but it was also like I saw lots of great things, like great progress on so many of the events. So it's like trying to not play the comparison game and be like, okay, I like this and what we saw here, but now we got a lot of work to do back in the gym and get ready for the next year.
Yeah. Did you watch the CrossFit Games? Like, is that something you could watch, or is it too hard to kind of see that?
Yeah. Matt was laughing at me the whole time because we were talking about it. The first time it got brought up is someone was asking us on my podcast, and for some reason I got triggered like immediately, and I was like, I'm not gonna watch it. I'm just like just throwing a fit and everything like a child. And he goes, don't be ridiculous. You're gonna watch it. And it was really fun to watch. But the cool part is you get that same anxiousness for all your friends and your fellow athletes that like when you've been there, like you feel that. And I'm like, ooh, I want to feel that again, like being out on the floor and all those emotions and everything. So I did watch it, and it was a lot of fun, but I would be lying if I didn't have FOMO.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to training, obviously like strength is where your focus is. I mean, how much is strength training versus just keeping the gymnastics and metabolic conditioning up the pace?
Yeah, I get mad and get to fight Matt every day because he likes to take away my Metcons, and that's what I like to do. And he's like, a little bit, not that we're not doing any, but I do a little bit less Metcons, a lot more strength building, and not even just that, like base building. If you guys like have looked at where my best like events lie, it's always like there's some high skill gymnastics. There's a lot of like really technical work. I even love to like Olympic lift because it's so technical. So I don't even get to do that as much as like squat, pull, press, and run.
Yeah.
And run.
And run. It's always running too.
You were doing Wodapalooza online qualifier.
Yes, sir.
You're doing pretty well, I would say. was that always the plan, is to do the qualifier, and is like Wodapalooza kind of always that one-off season event that you target?
That's what we planned for this year, and we went last year. We got an invite last year, and I really just enjoyed the event. And it's at like such a good like um off season time, in that you're getting your training a little bit ramped back up, but it's not like in season yet. And of course, you get your big names out there, so you can kind of see how you go line up next to those guys, and get a good kind of like start of the season baseline for where we're at, but still have enough time to like restructure and rebuild and kind of put some focus on some other things. So it's a great event all the way around. I loved it last year, and then the competition side of it with competing against your other games athletes and everything is like, you want to do something like that.
Yeah, you got a second place on that nasty front squat, burpee, and toes to bar workout, which, I mean, the barbell got heavy and you were able to hang in there. So that's always a good sign. And, obviously the snatch and overhead squat 47th, but I would say compared to last year, you've probably made a huge
overhead squats, Rebecca. You got more than 166 if you have 7 overhead squats. Put 170 on and just do it.
This is the whole, like, I'm glad I'll talk to you guys a little bit about this, because that's always the big lifts are like my proudest moments, right? Because that's my weakness and everything. And I've slowly seen my numbers go up and everything. And Matt, we have it's a fun coach athlete relationship, because he'll spit out a number and I'll put 5 on that one. And then I'll try to beat his number. And then I tried it once and I missed it. And then it was all just like, not even I knew I could get this, but it was a whole bunch of smack talk, like back and forth, just like, I know I can get this. I know I can get this. And he was like, let's go down 5 pounds. And I go, that's all I need to hear is like, let's go down 5 pounds. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to get it. So that was a fun event, just because I got a little bit fired up, but I'm happy with that number.
Are you one of those that your 1 rep max may not be that high relative to the others, but as a percentage of the weight, like you could do again, like the 7 overhead squats?
That's how it always is, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I like to move those moderate heavy barbells. I'm just not good at top end strength.
Yeah. What did you do, John, on that one?
Not enough. I was very disappointed in my number. We had opposite results in that event, because people expect me to do something crazy, and I have very small hands. It's hard for me to hold the bar on hangs. I hate hangs. So I got 252, and so it'll still be my highest score.
They totally took away the strategy too of like, I don't know if you like to high hang snatch, but I like to high hang snatch. And they were like, it has to be below your hip crease. And I go, shoot, there goes my strategy. So I don't like to hang snatch either, but we like let it rip on this one. So
yeah.
The second one was just terrible. I think I could have done 275 if it was just one. And that second one would just like, oh God.
It was definitely grip it as hard as you can, jump as hard as you can, and pray.
Yeah. So with the news that came out yesterday, CrossFit Games headed to Fort Worth. Your gym, CrossFit Bolt, that's right in your backyard, right? So
yep.
Well, what was your thought of, how cool is it that it's, going to be in Fort Worth, and, hopefully you'll be there.
We had heard the rumors going around, and I'm pretty sure I just saw your video recently about how you guys were kind of sniffing out the trail to that one too. But I didn't want to assume anything. I heard a lot of rumors that it was coming somewhere in Texas, and I heard the Dickies Arena, which we drive by occasionally, and I heard some other places. So at first I was like, mixed feelings, because like when you qualify for like the biggest event in your sport, you're usually like, pack on up, travel, get on a plane, go somewhere. And we're just like, okay, we'll drive 20 minutes that way and then it's right there. But so that was my initial like mixed feelings. But then when it was officially announced, for some reason I was like, I don't know if it's like territorial, but I was like, this is our house. This is where it's coming. And it was really exciting because there's lots of great opportunities for us here. And I know a lot of people are worried about the heat. So that was another thought that I had because we did have a pretty extreme summer. So people are going to definitely have to get used to that. But I can tell you this, in Texas, it's hit or miss in the summer. You'll get a really bad one like this year where we're like over 100, like in the 107s a lot with the humidity.
Yeah.
And then some summers are not as brutal, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure even cool Texas summers are still worse than Madison summers.
Oh yeah. We were partying when it got down to 99. We're like, it feels amazing.
Have you been to Dickies for anything, like a concert or the rodeo?
I haven't personally, but I know a lot of people that have, and they say it's beautiful. It's going to be such a great arena. I wanted to go to a rodeo or a bull riding competition. Maybe I'll get to jump on a bull too.
There you go. That'd be good. That'd be good. I guess, looking at training the rest of the way in the open season quarterfinals, there's a lot of talk about changing the season and pro cards and all of this type of stuff. I mean, what are your kind of thoughts on, do you like the open quarterfinals format, or would you like to see more competitions throughout the year, kind of a structured season?
Yeah, I think anyone who's been involved in the season has had these conversations of how do we want the season to be structured? Because the funniest thing to kind of think through is like, I don't feel like there's really an off season. You're
Right.
always like taking a little bit of break and getting right back to training. And it's not like it's this whole fitness world. You have to stay in shape. So you're always getting fairly quick back to it. So I'm always down for more off season or out of the season competitions. And I have seen a lot of great ones this year and good ones that are getting more money put behind them. I know they had French Throwdown, Madrid, a lot of all these other ones that are putting on like great live streams and everything. And I hope they can keep growing and giving athletes like in the sport, not only like just opportunities for like making money and professionalizing the sport, but like just getting the sport more out there. So I'm always down for that. My problem is with the season is just the fact that it changes every year. I mean, you got to settle on something and try something.
Yeah.
The hardest part is just when you're an athlete, it's frustrating because I feel like I freaking went into last year like, do I even know all the rules of the sport that I'm competing in? I'm not sure. I'm not sure at this point.
Yeah.
And people ask you how to qualify. I'm like, don't even get me started in that and everything. So
yeah, I mean, it's tough. If you make it to the games, you beat yourself up through the games, and then you need a little bit of a break. If you do miss and you need to, work to try to get back to the games, you don't feel like you can take time off because you're trying to make up that ground. And so like the off season for you guys is the competition side. It's not the games, right? Like if there is never a downtime. I mean, after September, there's Madrid in September, and now there's Rogue in October. I mean, Dubai and Down Under like in December. So, I mean, it's just constant. And then, so like, I do think an off season would definitely help or try to figure some structure out, but I do.
Yeah, I think it's just like it's planning out your year, and like a lot of people ask me like why I didn't do Rogue. I love that competition, looks so crazy awesome and everything, and it's like, but we're in Texas here and everything, and I was like, we just didn't plan it on our schedule. It wasn't something like if you can like set up those competitions and be like, hey, I'm the athlete that's gonna plan out what competitions I'm gonna hit and be able to adjust if I don't make it or if something happens. That's the only thing that needs to happen. When it comes to the season itself, I think we just need more clarity. And like I said, not being changed every single year, just because it's the stress of going through the season and trying to organize yourself through the season that once it's finally over, you're kind of like, oh, Like, okay, now what do I need to get ready for next? So for me, what I did this year, I had a nice, healthy, like mental break, got back into training in the classes and everything. And I was excited to ramp it back up for these Wodapalooza qualifiers. So that was like a good timing for me.
Yeah. So like, you're unlike a lot of the athletes. I mean, your schedule is pretty darn full, right? Like, how many classes are you coaching a day or per week?
Anywhere from 2 to 3 a day, and I have a little bit of personal training tied into that, so it might be another hour or two here. So people ask me kind of like how many sessions I do a day. I'm like, it's just kind of like workout here, coach a class, lift, like it's all worked in between coaching hours. Yeah, so it's pretty busy.
How does that work with just fueling enough, eating enough, recovery? I mean, is that kind of a tough thing to
Yeah.
balance?
Yeah, it definitely makes it more challenging. I think I burn just as much coaching because I'm bouncing around and running around, coaching just as much as I do. I probably burn just as much as like doing workouts and everything. So that's like a major focus for me has been my eating and recovery because honestly, the year I went to the games, that was the most I was coaching and personal training. I was never like not on my feet. Like I was always moving around and my recovery was absolute trash. So those are the things that get me excited. I'm like, I have so much work to do on that side, which is only going to help like the strength building and getting bigger and stronger. So there's been a lot of that in the works too.
Yeah. And then you have a YouTube channel. You put out a lot of great like tutorials and how to handstand walk and all kinds of different gymnastics based stuff, as well as everything else.
Mhm.
Can you kind of share
Her
like,
Instagram is huge. It's
yeah.
hilarious.
That's the balance of like doing all of this stuff in the gym and taking that so seriously. I know people like probably look at my Instagram and they're like, oh, she doesn't take herself seriously. But it's like that healthy balance of this is all so much fun to me. And then, but we still get serious when it's time to get serious. So you stay like really balanced mentally.
Yeah. So you have that, you have a newsletter. So how can people find all of that stuff for you to learn how to handstand walk and learn more
Yeah.
about what's going on in your life?
Yeah, Instagram is the hub. Like you'll find all of my links on there, but my name on YouTube, my website has all of my programs on it at RebeccaFuselier.com. But yeah, I try to share all of that on Instagram. Follow my newsletter at the Get That Fuse News. That's where I basically do the recap and everything of everything that we're doing because it's a lot.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Rebecca. Congrats on doing well on week 1 and good luck on the next 2.
Thank you.
That's coming out tomorrow, I guess, right?
Yep.
And yeah,
Should be some gymnastics too. I feel like you'll tear up the next 2 workworkouts because we haven't had any really like hard gymnastics.
I'm hoping.
It has to be, right? Handstand push-ups and muscle ups.
That's what we're hoping a little bit for some high skill gymnastics. I'll always be happy about that. I know there's always I never cut out another heavy bar or heavy something for me though. I'm like I'll just wait until it's announced to think about all this stuff.
That's the case.
Awesome. Well, thank you for jumping on. Go get some dinner, work on some recovery, and go see what those workouts are tomorrow. So
yep. Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Rebecca. Bye.
I think Mike saw Aud's picture late, and then that's why her comment was taken off so quickly. I think that's what just happened. Am I right in that, Brian?
It was definitely a little bit shocking. Yeah, that was great. Want us to thank our sponsor, Vindicate. The new shirts just arrived, so if you did do the pre-order, they are there. Hopefully arriving very soon, but go to vindicate.com, use code SPIN to save 15% off. Topic number 2, Dickies Arena. the news came out yesterday that the 2024 CrossFit Games are heading to Fort Worth, Texas. Tyler called it about 5 weeks ago on the show. Nailed it. You must be in cahoots. I think how it works.
I wanted to say, like, we're on a streak. I called Fort Worth. I'd say called it. I had some information, but none of it was serious information. It just a lot of he said, she said. But you called Tia going to Rogue, and John, what are you
call
doing?
all the CrossFit Games winners. You're right. We're on top of it right now.
My punchline was going to be, you called how easy that first workout for Wodapalooza was going to be.
Dude. Good for them.
Yeah.
You know, like, honestly, after the first round, if anybody's done it, you should do it. It's honestly an amazing workout. But
yeah.
After the 95-pound bar, I was like, you need to slow down right now. If you go one more minute at this pace, this is going to get bad. Like, really
watching
bad.
your video like 3 minutes in, I was like, oh, that's aggressive. Like, yeah. Listen, is he going to keep doing this?
The 155 bar, when I got to the 155 bar, those were the slowest 10 burpees I have ever done in a long time. Yeah, and I took that rest at the Toza bar just because I didn't want to do more burpees. Because I was like, I can't recover. I just never recovered. It was crazy.
There's not a good place for it in that workout. I mean, it's just go the whole time. So
no, I took it out too hot, which I usually don't do. I'm not a take it out too hot kind of a guy. But
you feel like you have to though. You have to get to that the later barbell. That's the problem.
Yes, I think I could have done better had I went a little bit slower in the first round. But props to anybody who got 180, 185. Anybody who got to 185, you're ridiculous. That's fantastic. Y'all are great. I did not, but no, it was. Anyway. I said when I finished the workout, when I was done with it, I was like, gosh, that really defeated.
I'm really messed up.
I don't get. No, I'm not messed up. Just like felt defeated.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, there's a difference between being messed up and like, dang, like that. I lost to that workout. Like, it's not about being good or bad at it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, you live and you learn. I'm on to the next two. I'm excited for it.
So Dickies.
Arena.
What was your initial reaction when you got the official announcement, Tyler, and the details that it was going to be at Dickies?
I was like, did I say that a couple weeks ago? I feel like that was right. I texted some people who gave me some information. I was like, you're right. It played off. I was stoked. I personally, there were some comments about this in the in different areas, but I dig Texas's vibe. And I like that we're going to Texas, man. I just dig every piece of this. There's so many different angles. It's like there's going to be less athletes there, so there's going to be more space. There's going to be more seats. It's just, I really like how this could all pan out. So, what did you guys think?
I agree with the like the less athletes thing is kind of a bummer for a lot of people, but I do think it will make the games more fun. Like, if you go to the games. What's funny is I think maybe not as much people will actually go to the games. It'll be a little bit more like Rogue, which might not be the effect they wanted it to be, because there's no master. There's not going to be any masters, right, or age group.
Well, that's the next piece.
I was wondering. I was like, is that confirmed or is that just something we've?
I mean, if we
propagated
heard whispers, it's probably true.
So
that's what was the case with this.
The press release came out that said this was the first of several topics to come out. The games is only 4 days.
Like, that feels like this is just individual.
It could be teams too, I think.
I think
there'd be a lot of teams, but individual and teams. I mean, definitely heard rumors that, and I mean, it's obviously not official, but the age groups and adaptives will split off and have their own type of championship from everything that I'm hearing. How that works exactly, I don't know, but this sounds to be only the top 40 men and women in whatever 38 teams or how they're going to do it. Which
I just think there's
it'll be a
pros and
different
cons to
atmosphere.
that. Yeah, different atmosphere. I think there's pros and cons to that, but the pros, I think it's going to be a pretty darn sweet event. I just feel like they have more freedom to do stuff time-wise, and they're not bound to, the stuff that they're bound to, like that people don't understand, like behind the scenes, they have to do things in a certain time frame for all the heats to go. So masters can be at a certain spot, and then teams can be at a certain spot, and like it's way more hard to manage that than people understand, and like that none of that will be a problem anymore. Like they can literally do whatever they want. But I hope that if it is like that, and the masters are like the legends, it's going to be the legends competition. That will be the new. I hope they market that as like, this is the CrossFit game, the masters CrossFit Games, and like it's not like gone all together, right?
Yeah. The only thing I would say about going to Dickies is we don't know what the venue really is, right? Like we know that this indoor stadium is nearly the size of North Park. I don't think it's as wide, but it's 250 feet long, right? So that's pretty darn close to what North Park was, maybe a few feet less. And you look at the photos of it. I mean, this is a seat somewhere in the corner. I mean, that's, if you have an athlete that's on the other side, that's pretty far away. I know there's Farrington Field, which is a 20,000 seat outdoor football stadium that's like a mile away, kind of adjacent to it. There's all these smaller little venues that are in that Will Rogers
next to them.
There's no swimming pool nearby. My guess is that the nearest swimming pool would be at TCU's campus, which is about 2 miles south.
So it would just be like a drive over if that happens.
Yeah. Now there's a big park to the east of it. So like here's a map. So you have Dickies right here in the red. There's this huge park area right here, and this is all massive parking. There's a parking garage. I don't know, if they fit something into that parking or if they use that for just truly parking, but like this park here is pretty cool. I've been told it goes into some big trail that has, a massive amount of trails along this Clear Fork Trinity River. So they do have some of that stuff. Everything I keep hearing people speculate on, it's going to be mostly indoors. Which,
and that's the go ahead. Sorry.
That's my concern. Like I started thinking about it, and I was thinking like, if you start at 9 a.m. and you go till 5, 6, like you're gonna come out like a zombie, right? Like you're gonna be inside all day long, and then you're gonna come out in the evening and feel like you've never, like this weird.
Yeah, half the draw of the game, like some of the coolest parts about being at the games is that you're outside like almost all the time, and like I think it's gonna be one of those things that after people go through it, they're gonna be like, oh man, I kind of miss the sun.
No, people won't want to be outside.
Well, not in the 105 degree.
That's what I'm saying.
Heat.
Like it like you're not gonna want that. Like just
because it's in Fort Worth. But if you took away the Fort Worth factor, I feel like people do want that outside experience.
Vibe.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, you go to regionals
morning event outside. Like the morning event will always be outside, and then the rest of it will be inside.
Yeah. Like you go to regionals or semifinals or whatever. Like at the end of the day, you're like, God, I've just been in a building all day. It's a weird like tiredness or something.
But like, what if they did this? And I'm not saying they will do this, but if the morning event say is like 9 to 10:30, okay, and then since it's just individual and team, there is not another event until 2 o'clock. So you have 10:30 till 2 o'clock where you could just go to lunch, you could go to the hotel, like you're just chilling. You're not doing anything. You can go out to eat, you can just discover Fort Worth, whatever. And then at 2:00, it goes 2 to 7. And then that's 5 hours inside with like shopping and all that stuff. And that's how every day was ran. I think people would like, you have a break every single day. And it's not just, you're in the heat the whole time. Like you have a space where you can do stuff every day. Like I kind of think that's how it'll be ran. And if it's just individual and team, they can do that, right? And I think that's how you get away from that problem.
Yeah.
It does give you more time for the cool word activations.
I mean, that was the point of the cuts, right? Like,
right.
You have time between the events to go do something like that on a Saturday or Sunday.
Right. And if you get rid of half the people that are competing there, it gives you even more time to do that. And so
are they still doing cuts?
I imagine. I think that's going to stay around with Dave around.
Yeah, I see that as
I wonder
sticking.
If we can like buy like fake blue wristbands for the cut athletes, and then like every time they get cut, we'll just give them a fake blue wristband. That way, they can just have access to places. I just think it'd be a cool thing. I don't know if anybody's ever thought of that, but I think they can get away with it.
It might work.
I think it would work.
Yeah. I guess only individuals and teams, and like you have a stadium, like I don't see how a festival pass works in this, right?
They'd have to make a different thing. Yeah, I 100%. Like I think tickets will be different. You'll have just access. It'll be everything. Like tickets might be more expensive, but it will be the whole all the events. 100%. You can't sell outside tickets if you're going to have 3 of the 12 events outside. You know what I mean? 100%.
Yeah, or one of those is off site, right, and doesn't require a ticket. So like if most of this is inside, I mean, some of those tickets were pretty high itself. I mean, was it $500 for the lower seats? And that
how much was a festival ticket?
Those were pretty cheap.
Well, they were like 125 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I mean, $200 a ticket, and you keep the lower seats, whatever. Like it goes $200 to $700. You know what I mean?
I think those things sell out so fast. I don't know what the actual capacity was in the Coliseum. This is obviously bigger. So, but they're going to have less. Like a lot of people did buy the festival tickets, and then figured out where to go in the evenings when it went to the Coliseum. If you don't have that, like, is it going to be $750, $800 for a ticket for the weekend
for regular people?
Yeah.
No, but like I could see like 400, 500.
It's already 500 for the best seats.
Maybe I just didn't pay.
Yeah, they open.
I feel like I didn't spend that much money.
Coliseum tickets open at $500 because you got some kind of crazy ass deal that no one would ever see ever again in their entire life.
Did y'all just let me in places?
What
are you talking about?
I did not spend that much money. I feel like I just got lucky and got in.
I don't know what the top row was. I'm sure it was 200, 250 for the week. Which, like, if you break it down by day, it's probably not too bad. But when you start thinking about a family of 4 and traveling and hotel, food, I mean, it could be pretty expensive when you start adding all that stuff up to go to the CrossFit Games and only see individuals and teams.
Yeah.
So.
That's
you have the
ability
to go see
anyway.
But yeah,
it
that's
is
what most people are doing. And like if it's already selling out, I don't think they're going to have a problem selling out.
Yeah.
It is interesting though. You think about the successful competitions. I mean, I'm mainly Wodapalooza. Like they go the opposite direction. Right? It's like a big festival. They're subsidizing a lot of the elite stuff with the community.
Yeah, I can't even remember how expensive are their like general admission tickets. They're like $70 or something.
Yeah, it'll change this year with buying a specific type
package.
Of pass.
Yeah, but historically, I think
it's not been too bad. But
yeah,
I mean, you have all different entry fees of scaled and intermediate and all the different teams. I just wonder if CrossFit's going the wrong direction to narrow this down for just individual and teams instead of making it a festival, something like Wodapalooza. Right? You'd have a lot more people there. You'd have a big, I mean, if Wodapalooza can make it work, why couldn't the CrossFit Games?
That's a good point. Even if you went the participation route, like even if half everybody there was like on a 3-person team or something kind of crazy like that, that actually, that's interesting that they haven't thought about doing. I'm sure they've thought about it.
Yeah.
But like in classic Dave way of being, like he's not going to want to do stuff that Wodapalooza is doing.
I get it, but all of the successful competitions seem to have been these big festival type things, and the smaller ones have always struggled.
Rogue?
I mean, what's that? Rogue doesn't make money.
Rogue's a different thing. Yeah, that's a marketing expense solely.
Yeah, that thing is not making money.
The Games doesn't make money either, right?
I'm saying that's. But if they're trying to save, money or make. I think actually the Games makes money. It's all of the different part. It's the semifinals that is a big draw.
Oh, because everybody pays, $20 for the Open, $50 for semifinals. That's tough.
I mean, I think the actual Games itself, with all the big sponsorships and things like that, whatever the city gives them, does make money. But I think it's hosting all of the semifinals is not where that money comes in. And again, that's the smaller competition. Travis from Vindicate, is there a campground
There is
nearby?
There is an RV park, yes, but
I think
it's not adjacent. Like you don't just get out of your RV and walk, though. I don't believe.
Right. I think it's pretty nice though, because I mean that's like, rodeo culture is a lot of that. So yeah,
we'll figure it out. We had 4 or 5 years in Madison. We'll figure it out. 6 years.
Yeah. I think it'll feel more like I don't want to say a major sporting event, but kind of like that, where it's maybe less community based and more I'm going to watch a sport,
which professionalizes the sport.
Yeah.
We'll
see. I like Texas, but I am holding. There is an element of holding my breath.
We just don't know until we know.
Right.
I think this is helping.
Is that Hike or Mike?
I think it's Mike, or it's a new helping account. I don't know. But Rogue loses $1.5 million. I could easily see that. The amount that they put into that thing.
It's crazy.
They're not making it up with the qualifier. They're not making it up by ticket sales.
And I'm
good
here
for them.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Light 1.5 on fire.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of Rogue, Tia's coming back. She's back.
Who called it? Who called that again?
I wonder. I think I did.
I
did. I mean, whenever Bethany did not get the invite, I called it.
Tia ?
Tia.
Yeah.
That's right. And then when they announced Jeff 2 days ago and were silent yesterday, I went back and looked at all 39 announcements, and there's only one day they skipped, and that was after Chandler Smith. I think it was like a Sunday they skipped. So like every day they were putting out an announcement, and I was like, if it's not Tia and they're skipping a day to be dramatic,
it's a waste. Yeah.
Right. Like just keep it going and announce it. So
there was a minute there I thought Mallory could be it, but I was like, man, this seems like a lot of production for Mallory. You know what I mean?
Like we would have seen like posts with her working out a bunch and stuff. You know what I mean? And we
haven't. It was. I'm stoked. I mean, like, how do you all feel about it?
I'm excited, really excited. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm excited to watch it.
What would you consider to be a successful return for Tia? what scenario do you need to see that you go, all right, Tia's on the right path?
Well, the pessimistic way to phrase that question is, at what point does it become a bad showing for Tia? Like, at what point do we go, oh man, I guess she's not going to recover from being a mom?
Yeah.
How low does she have to go?
Well, yeah. Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Like, at what point is it 5th? I still think that's pretty successful, but you're starting to play with it there. Like 7th to 10th, like I'm starting to get worried.
Does that make you worried, John, if she finishes 10th?
I have no idea. No.
Her just being there is good enough.
I don't know.
John, you've said that Rogue is the most important off-season competition.
I agree.
And so if she you agree with yourself, good.
I agree with that. I think so okay. This can only go good for Tia, in my opinion.
There's no bad.
Only good.
Yeah.
There's no scenario where you go, this is
like she can't do certain movements at a certain ability because of her pelvic floor is not tight enough or something like that. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like something like we just aren't aware of. Like she can't clean certain weight without letting everything go yet, right? Like her insides, because that stuff happens. That's a thing. And maybe she just cleans 175 instead of 205 because of that. Or I get it's way more, like 235 instead of 275. You know what I mean? Which significantly affects her ranking. She's not going to magically not be able to do muscle ups or not be able to. And like if she's not at the aerobic capacity that we're accustomed to, I think she can get all of that back. Like within, it's in October, it's late October, right? The game's is August, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 10 months. Like, I think she can significantly get back closer to what she was before she got pregnant in 10 months. I don't think she is, like, if she's not close to that body right now, who cares? Like, I think she will be. You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter for me how bad she does. It won't affect my ranking of her one iota. Now in semifinals, she don't look like the Tia that we're used to seeing. Then I don't know if she's going to be the Tia that we're used to seeing. You know what I mean? But Rogue for me is not going to move that needle in a bad way for her. I would still call her to win the games. Now, if she ends up winning Rogue,
that was my next question.
Then what do you want from me? Like you know what I mean? Like I have no idea what to expect from her at Rogue. I'm not even going to try to predict it. I have no idea.
That's why you're here, John.
If my money were on somebody, I'd still pick Laura to win. But if Tia were to get top 5, it wouldn't surprise me. If Tia were to get 14th, she's just not back yet. You know what I mean?
Do you think she can mentally handle not getting first?
Yeah, or she would do the competition.
Yeah, a little background. Patrick Clark shared this with me that Tia has won 15 in a row in-person competitions.
She hasn't lost since 2017 or 2016.
2017 games.
She won
first year.
2017.
Yeah, that was her first. Yeah, so she'd lost games in 2016. That was it.
Yeah. To me, it'd be real hard. Like, you're a winner through and through, and to be able to be like, oh, I'm okay with third. I don't think you are. Like, I don't think it's good for anybody if she gets third, because she's going to be pissed off and it's going to get even worse. But
I think if she gets 5th or better at Rogue, then she'll be untouchable. Literally not even close to anybody untouchable at the games time. If she's 5th or 10th, if there's not strict deficit handstand push-ups, no matter how many kipping handstand push-ups you want to do, Laura, if there's not strict deficit handstand push-ups, I'd probably still take Laura. If she's like, 6th through 15th, I think Laura's got a shot, right? At the games, I'm talking. But if she's top 5, I think she'll be untouchable. I don't think anybody will be close to her, because you guys, she's the fittest woman that's ever lived. Nobody
If-
is even close.
If she comes and wins Rogue, I mean, is there an asterisk on Laura's win?
Is there not one now?
That's a good point.
Okay. So did the Houston Rockets win in 94, 95?
No one knows what you're talking about. But sure.
Let me go with yes.
I mean,
Is that when Jordan left?
Yeah.
They went and played baseball.
Okay, yeah.
You know,
They won.
at the time. Here's how I think about it. At the time,
They won.
the Rockets were the best basketball team in all of the NBA. Right?
At that time.
At the time, at that year, in that moment, Laura Horvath was the fittest woman in the world. She was fitter than Tia because Tia was 9 months pregnant, right?
Mhm.
Or just had a baby. I don't remember when she was. But my point is, at that
For that
time,
snapshot in
the
time.
year,
Yeah.
Laura is the fittest woman in the world. That's how I look at it. There's no asterisk. Now, Laura could have been the fittest woman in the world and quickly became the second fittest woman in the world, right?
2 months later.
Right? That's fine. I don't put that out of the possibility, but that's how I look at it. I don't put an asterisk next to it. It's just Tia was pregnant that year, and we can look at that year the whole time and be like, this was the year Tia was pregnant. Cool. She was still pregnant.
What you're
Laura's still
doing,
the fittest woman in the world at that time.
it's fair what you're doing. I think what the real question, the wording of the question matters, and so it should be something like, "Who can Laura ever beat Tia? Would Laura have beat Tia that year if she was at her fittest?" Like those are the things.
But,
That's what we're actually
put an
asking.
asterisk next to everybody that Matt Fraser decided to retire. Like, what are you saying? Well, yes, Tia would have won if she was at her best. Yes, that's not a question.
But that's the question.
She's not
that's
at her
the
best.
real question
She's not at her best.
at that moment.
She's
And
on the couch saying, "Shane, can you please get me some grapes? I want some grapes." Okay? She's not at her best.
Next up, Tia's grape sponsorship.
Yeah. If you're Laura,
Did Justin Medeiros get an asterisk because Fraser's not there and he decides to retire early?
No. Oh, timeout. Okay, so I was talking to Barkley. I need to holler back. He just moved to Madison, by the way. But Barkley, for those who don't know, analyst in the
he
sport,
moved to Madison.
He moved to Madison. He works for he's working for the enemy. He's working for Pepsi.
What?
I thought you were going to say morning chocolate.
No, he's an analyst. He's an analyst for Pepsi.
So he's trying to figure out how to sell more Pepsi, right?
Yeah.
Looking at all the data. Yeah.
Hey, I'll drink some Pepsi, Barkley.
I know. I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy Pepsi when I go to the movie theater. But anyway, so he called me and he said, "We always talk about get louder, John. We always talk about Laura and Tia, but the exact same situation is true with Matt and Justin. But for some reason, it's a much bigger deal when we talk about the Laura versus Tia argument. And it's just like, I think it's because when Tia retired or was done, she was still in the situation and she did it because she was pregnant. And when Matt retired, it was like, yeah, I guess he's just full on done. Like, we didn't even think he was working out for a while. And then we come to find out, like, you're hearing rumors that he can still do crazy shit. But I think that's why we don't have that argument. Do you guys think I'm wrong?
Because they've retired and they're not coming back.
His retirement seemed legitimate.
Okay, you want to use Rich? Does Vince Smith deserve an asterisk? See what I'm saying? We could play this rabbit hole literally every freaking way you want to play it. But does Camille deserve an asterisk? Because Carl was winning that game still.
I don't disagree with you. I don't understand why you're saying an asterisk
for everybody. Does James Fitzgerald deserve an asterisk? Because in 2007, I could beat James Fitzgerald down. You see what I'm saying?
I see what. No, you can't play. You can't play time loop stuff. Warp hole. You can't go back to 2007, John. Was John 2007 fit? No way.
I was a mean 13-year-old, man.
Yeah. I think the difference is that Tia's coming back, right? And so there's just that gap that if she hadn't been pregnant, she would have won again. If she comes, if she wins in 24, you'd basically say that she was probably going to win in 23 too, right? So like that's different than somebody retiring and just not being there. And so somebody has to take that next.
Who chose to
Take
get
that.
pregnant?
By the sound of it, they didn't choose to get pregnant. It just happened.
Oh, it just
Is that
didn't
I
good.
am
And there's no asterisk. Roman didn't choose for his foot to be
either
broke.
either way, there was going to be no asterisk, John. Is that what people say about the Rockets, the 94 Rockets, that they are only the winners because
No, they don't. They just like when it's like a Jordan versus LeBron argument,
Yeah.
and people are grasping for everything they can. They'd be like, he would have won 8 straight championships if he didn't go play baseball.
grasping for
But-
everything he can?
But they did it. But he didn't. He went and played baseball, and the Rockets won back-to-back championships. Jordan was the best player ever at that time. You know what I mean? And he retired and he came back. Right? They don't have an asterisk next to their championships.
Fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
agree.
That's fine. So yeah, next month, Tia, you guys will be there too.
Yes, I will be there.
You guys fill out all your paperwork and you're all good to go.
I
think
did.
so. I did whatever the email gave me.
Yeah.
It
I
was a
think,
little bit of a short one. It was like, oh, that was it. Like the games one was long, and that one I felt like I didn't fill out enough stuff.
Okay, maybe I didn't do what I needed to do. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
It'll be fine.
I'm conflicted with how I want her to do, because I want her to do well. I think it'd be awesome if she got second. If Laura won and she got second, it would make the build up awesome, right? I want her to do that well. But like if that happens, in my opinion, Tia is going to win the CrossFit Games handedly. But it will be fun to talk about. And then I don't want her to win, because then I'm going to be so annoyed at how many people are like, Laura just won because Tia was out. Like, Tia chose to be out.
Yeah, at every angle, this plays better if Tia doesn't win. So Tia, we're gonna need you to take a dip on this one.
Take an L.
Yeah.
Well,
But make it look, make it look good.
Didn't Annie do really, really good at Rogue?
Yes, she did.
She was out. Didn't she get second? Was second or third?
Yes, second.
I think she was second, but she was in first after day 2 because she had like a deadlift workout. And then I remember this because I told Brian Annie was going to lead after day 2, a friend, and he said I was on crack. And then when it happened, I was like, I am now the greatest analyst in all of CrossFit, but I'm not. But
that performance by Annie made me think she was going to get top 5 at the games. Like, and then it just didn't. Like, she went team, I think, after. Something like that happened, but it was I was disappointed either way.
And then she got third, and then she went team. She got third the year after.
Yeah.
A little tangent into basketball, extra sloppy. The conspiracy is that Jordan was silently suspended for gambling, and he decided to play baseball in his free time.
I love that conspiracy, but I don't know that I can get on board with it.
If the internet was a thing, it wouldn't be a conspiracy. It's a fact, but
that's like Phil Mickelson. Did you hear about him playing golf? He like gambled over $1 billion.
Yeah,
and like just
if you
crazy.
Win more than half of it,
he was betting on the Ryder Cup or something like that, like in his own sport. Crazy.
Some people are gamblers. What do you want?
Yeah. LDY 2742 999. Awesome. Jordan, the only best player ever.
That's one's opinion.
See, this is if you did a chart, if you asked everybody in CrossFit who's the best, I'm going to do this on Heat 1. Who's the best basketball player of all time, Jordan or LeBron? And then
or
hold
Kobe?
the same people. Nah, Kobe ain't
do
even in
Rich
that
versus
conversation.
I
guarantee you it's 1-to-1.
100% correlate.
It's 100. Yeah, 1-to-1. Rich for Jordan.
I personally think there's be more Jordan than Rich, and and this is going to hurt me to say because I'm a LeBron fan, and I will argue it. But Jordan has done more. Like Matt has overwhelmingly been the best individual guy. I don't think LeBron has overwhelmingly been better than Jordan. You know what I'm saying?
No, he definitely just hasn't been better than Jordan, but that's besides the point.
And that's fine. No. But what I'm saying is like that.
I know what you mean.
Argument holds water because like you're allowed to argue that like I'm with you in the argument. You're fine. That's fine argument.
Yeah.
You can't argue that Matt wasn't overwhelmingly better and more dominant than Rich was individually. You see what I'm saying?
I mean,
so it's hard
argument, it's just so hard because the argument really is they were the athlete of their time. And
they
Rich,
made the sport big.
Yeah. Well, but I think Rich would have been different had he come up 3 years later, right? If he came up at the same time as Matt, I think he would have been a different athlete. And it's hard to compare them 1-to-1. It's like comparing it's like comparing Jordan to Wilt Chamberlain. It's like Wilt Chamberlain was like the first one to score. It was like 100 points,
100
right?
points, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like no one ever talks about that anymore. And it's like he probably wouldn't have done that because everybody like, you know, the game wasn't the game as it was when Jordan played. So
here's one for you. Matt is only a 5-time winner due to the absence of Froning.
Asterisks for Matt.
I guess we got to give Matt Fraser an asterisk.
5 of them.
Because, yeah. I had my I programmed 333 for my gym yesterday, and
how'd that go?
It was great. The people that walked, I'm like, hey,
you're just like Froning.
You know what I mean? You're basically the fittest man in the world right now.
I didn't catch that one. That's good.
And like, you know, make my people feel better, right?
Yeah, you're building them up, right?
Yeah, building them up and tearing him down at the same time. It's a win-win, you know.
Speaking of workouts, Wodapalooza qualifier is underway. Week one is done. John, are you looking forward to week 2?
Yeah, I am. I'm very happy with my
how did it treat you outside of the first one that
I
was a little hot?
I was most let down with the lift, believe it or not, because when you can 1 rep 50 more pounds than you do on that complex, it's a little bit frustrating. Where my workout 1, I was let down until I saw other people score, other people that I know, and I feel like I did better than I thought that I would on that, or like I did better than I thought it was. Does that make sense?
Yep. Where are you? What is your rank?
160 something.
There he is,
I was
169.
Like, why are you? I was thinking like, what major athlete fell this far down?
No, there's no major athlete. Just
Anton Foss. He's a semifinal athlete.
Look at that.
Look, yeah, I'm destroying Anton Foss right now. Semifinals athlete. All right.
Yeah.
Look. Hey, by the way, if you look at our scores, I didn't know he was a semifinal athlete. That makes me feel much better.
They're exact same.
We are like like I beat him a little bit here, and he beats me a little bit there. Like we're
nice.
Like right there together. But I was very proud of the workout 3. It's basically all cardio.
So what is workout? So I'm unfamiliar with workout 2 and 3. I only know about 1.
So 1 is just dirty grind work. Workout 2 is a max snatch plus 2 hang snatches.
Okay. You hit 254 on that?
252. I know.
252.
I know. I expected way more too, but I just can't hold on to it, Tyler.
Do you think
I have these tiny hands? Okay.
Do you think really a lift like this should be tied into a Metcon?
I don't mind it if they are.
I feel like the 5-minute is pointless, right? Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're basically going to hit where you hit. Yeah.
No, like I took a video and then I missed it. And then I was like, okay, stop the video. I stripped all the weights, started the video again. And then I missed it. And then I was like, I'm going to give it one last try. And then I started the video again. And then I hit it on the third one. But I mean, now that's what they want. They wanted a max lift. I like those workouts a lot, where you build into it. You know what I mean? But right. Yeah. I'm anti
It probably wasn't in the rules. It usually isn't in the rules.
I looked.
It was.
I was
Damn.
no. I seriously was
You
going
considered
to.
it?
Like, listen,
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I think I could do 275 with a girl's bar. It literally is just I can't hold on to it.
I mean, I've done it in the past in open workouts when it's like a bunch of snatches or something. You just use a smaller bar. It helps your grip out.
Yeah, no, I read the rule book just to see if it was.
Yeah, it didn't, or it did have it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I definitely was going to do that. And then this is just so you do all the 15s, you rest a minute, and then all the 20s, you rest a minute, and all the 25s. I was surprised. I broke everything up on this a lot, and then I rebounded the 30-inch box jump overs. I rebounded them all, and that saved me like so much time on people.
It didn't blow you up?
I'm pretty good at box jump, like just jumping.
Yeah.
But like I did all my chest to bar in 5s. I did all of my wall balls in 8-7, and then 10-10, and then 8-7-5 or 10-8-7 on the 25s. Like I broke everything up. I did my snatches in 10s. Like so for the snatches it was 30, 40, 50. Not 15, 20, 25. That's on every arm.
Oh man, you're gonna get canceled, John.
Oh, yeah, a girls bar?
Yeah.
I said I was gonna use it. If anything, that makes me inclusive, right? Like I'm with you guys.
It's the bars that identify that way. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you tried to optimize it for what you're good at.
I thought I could make up time on the box jump overs, and I thought I would blow my back up. I'm not great with a whole bunch of hinging. My back blows up pretty quickly. So I was going to do 10s on the snatches the whole time. And then that's what it did. And I was very happy with my time. I know it doesn't look like it's great on the leaderboard because it's 180 something or whatever. But the guys that are ahead of me, these are semifinals guys or guys that are striving for semifinals. The guys who are going to win this, they're going to make the games. And
man,
so I'm not super let down. It's way, way better than I was last year.
Right.
Yeah. If you were curious who the guy is up there in the thumbnail or in the upper right corner,
Austin Hatfield?
That's Austin Hatfield. So for those who don't know,
by one spot to Spencer Panchik, right?
Yep. Spencer passed him on the last workout. So he was right there, and he looks like he's going to get a chance to go and throw down with some of the best in the world.
But I know Jack Rosema, Harry Lightfoot, they were both in semifinals, 10 to 20th.
Royce Dunn.
Royce has been to the games, obviously. John Wood almost made the games.
Yeah, he was
Kevin
close too
Ures
in the West.
Semifinals athlete.
Is this the guy that
Bennett is?
Is Josh Matz the guy that busted his face?
Is it?
I don't know.
I think it's the same
click
name.
on his picture. Maybe it's.
It's sad that I never knew the guy's name. I just was like, oh yeah, it's busted face, dude.
I'm pretty sure that's him.
But I'm happy with my scores so far. I probably do not have a shot of making it, but it's okay.
I mean, when you have...
I'm going on a team with Anthony Davis, believe it or not.
You are?
Yeah.
Who's the
No, really?
Yeah. It's me, this guy named Antoine, who I met at the Fitness Experience, and then Anthony Davis.
Antoine.
We all snatch over 300 pounds.
Who's
and
Antoine?
We all suck at running.
Which Antoine? Dumaine?
Huh?
Dumaine or?
No. He's not he's not that elite. Yeah. He made this. I think Wilson's his last name.
Okay.
He's not been to the semifinals yet. He's around my level. And then Anthony says he's out of shape, badly. I actually beat him on the first workout of the qualifier. He tried it, and I beat him by 5 reps. And I was like, Anthony, you got to get in shape, buddy. You're supposed to be the anchor, man.
I think everybody looks at that first workout and sees the heavy weight, but I don't think that's where it was won or lost.
Engine.
Rebecca was second in the world in that one.
Yeah,
right.
All
if it was all heavy barbell, you couldn't get to it.
Yeah.
Right. If it added another 5 minutes to the AMRAP, right, then it probably changes that. But being able to string together toes to bar and burpees without getting tired, I think was probably the key.
Huge. Yeah.
But you look at this, the top 20 get to go into the elite competition, and then you have the 21st to 40th go into the RX, and you have Alex Carone, Jeremy Vigneault.
Yeah, like these
In
are
RX.
really good people. Victor Youngle,
Victor
he's very
Lundahl.
good in RX. And
Yeah.
I've told you guys before, the people who have made RX and like won or like were close to winning are people like Hopper, Mertens, Hiller, ironically, was up there one year. Guillermo, I know Guillermo, I can never say that right. But Bill
Tanner Voss.
Leahy, the
Bill
fittest
Leahy.
dude ever. Right.
So all these
44?
guys are going to go what?
So
Intermediate?
no, the guys under the line are not making it.
Yeah, they get into the open division.
If they want to, and that can be everybody.
Yeah, I don't know how that'll work, but it's basically, I think, kind of like they'll open it up in the first 40 to sign up, get in, or 30 or whatever.
What I wonder is like, because in the past they've done different programming for the different divisions, and it's like with this, I would just leave it the same, because it's like you're looking at like William Leahy's in 44th. Why would you program differently from him than you would the guys in the top 20?
You don't. What are you saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they have in the past.
They have, yeah. The RX is usually just a little bit lighter, pretty similar, but I mean, I think they just the weights maybe a little bit lighter. The Lat Am Cup will be based off the RX weight, so it will be different than the Elite. But I mean, it's a strong field, and there were quite a few that qualified through the qualifier last year that then make the games.
So and also last year was it not like 60 people in the RX division? So like they went down to the top 80.
Something like that. It was big last year.
It was enough for like, say, if I had 2 events, I did really good in workout 4 and 5. Like for myself, obviously, I'm not going to win.
You just kick yourself up that high,
But like, if I got 2 60th places, I'd have a shot to make it from last year, how they did last year's. This year, it's only 40th. So like, I'm just too far, right?
Because I think they're focusing more on, they have the Masters teams added in. You got the Lat Am Cup.
They're doing the opposite of the games.
And so
they're focusing on everybody else.
Everybody, right? You add in everybody else, and then, the fans come to go watch the elites, but you still have family members, friends that come to see you compete.
But I'm excited about teams of 3. I know we'll talk about it whenever it actually happens, but I actually think we have a decent shot at making some noise in the RX division, because I know Anthony is, top semifinals without making the games kind of a guy when he's in shape.
Yeah,
First time I ever met Anthony was at Wodapalooza, by the way. I met him at the Whole Foods there. So it's just it's a weird correlation.
I think I saw on Wodapalooza's Instagram that like almost 2/3 of teams that sign up end up getting to go to Miami and compete. Something crazy like that. So there's not a lot that end up doing it.
I didn't know it was like that. I just figured we'd be good enough.
No, it's let me see if I can find it here.
Regardless, you got to learn how to swim, because I don't know how to do that.
He figured out.
That's kind of important at Wodapalooza.
Just use the swim to figure it out. You'll be fine.
It's like, do you guys have floaties for the RX division?
Oh, sorry. I had it the inverse. 32% of teams that submit scores qualify for Miami.
Did teams just not submit scores then? Was it some weird thing?
It's a weird way to write it, huh?
Yeah, all scores and videos. I mean, because you have to submit a video for every single. Is this kind of the open division
too?
Probably. Yeah.
Oh, I mean that's.
But I mean, why. Yeah, I mean 1/3. So. It's not like it's some 2% that sign up end up going. So there's a decent amount that get to compete. And then go back to the women's leaderboard, because there's some good names there.
Yeah, Roaring Scott, scroll to the right so I can see, because I bet she didn't do well on the. Wow,
she did well.
Everything. Jeez.
Yeah, 191 for a squat, 2 hang.
Oh yeah, but she's ridiculous at lifting.
Yeah, she's small too.
She's not big.
She can lift like crazy.
This is a crazy stack right here.
Grace, Elena.
Yeah. Do you know this Margot Massette?
I remember seeing her during the semifinals. I think she was I don't know if she was in the hunt, but she was top half of European semifinals.
Wishart was in semifinals.
and Wishart was at Wodapalooza last year, so she qualified last year to get to it.
I feel like Julia Hannaford that rings a bell for some reason.
Another semifinal athlete. Same with Sarah, Stacy. I think she goes.
Yeah.
I think Stacy goes by a different name now, or maybe it was a different name at semifinals. So I mean, it's
Androznik,
Kieran Napoli,
Christy Hollard went to the games on the team. I mean, Brianni Chalice also.
Smith Pugh.
Yeah, I mean, the women is a very, very stacked field.
Moose
Freda's that low. Wow.
Allison.
Yeah.
Casey Wells. Is this another damn Wells?
No,
it's a different one. But I think she also went to the
Alana
semifinals.
Savage.
Yeah.
Ashley I mean, Schumacher, Callista Lang, they are all semifinals people. Claire Truex.
Wow. Aaliyah.
That's what I'm saying. Like there's Kelsey Keel. Come on,
44th.
girl.
Keel at 44th.
Get together.
Good thing she's going individual this year.
Yeah. I actually think so. I'm not sure. But Elle put a video on Instagram of her handstand walking at his gym.
Yeah, she was down there.
And I'm going to an athlete camp on Thursday, tomorrow. I'm leaving to go to his gym. So if I get to throw down with Kelsey, it'd be pretty cool. I'll take a video for you guys.
There you go.
I think we're both pretty sucky at the same things. So I think I have her on handstand walking, though, ironically. But, we're both strong and both trash at cardio. So
I mean, it looks like you two are pretty similar. I mean,
she's just
at least the type of athlete. Yeah, I mean, it is not easy to qualify.
Trista Smith.
For one.
I'm surprised to see her name.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, Julie went to the games this year on the team, down in 62nd. So I mean,
Jenna McVeigh.
There's a lot of top athletes that are doing it, and obviously, Wodapalooza invites a lot of people. I wrote an article this week about it. Basically, if you went to the games this year on the individual side, you get it. It was like podium from the last few years. Last year's Wodapalooza podium. I mean, there's a lot of invites, and basically they just if you accept your invite, you go. So they don't have a cap on the number of athletes that go. Last year, I think there was like 30. Yeah, I think there were 37 or 38 men and women on each division last year. So
is that new to this year?
No, last year they actually had even more automatic invites, but a lot of them are repeats, right? Like if you did well at Wodapalooza, you probably went to the CrossFit Games. They've actually shortened that time frame up. It was like, I think last year it went back like 5-7 years of top 10 at the games, and
they just gave invites to.
They just gave invites to everybody. And if you looked at it, basically the only people that accepted the invites were games athletes from the previous year. Very few, unless you needed it because you didn't go to the games. For the most part, it was, did you go to the games the previous year? You accepted. So made it a little bit easier. Anything else on Wodapalooza?
No, just I'm excited to see the next two workouts.
Yeah.
Tyler, you gonna do any of them?
I don't think so. We're going to Beach Brawl this weekend, so unless they get programmed for me, I don't think
Are you competing?
Yeah. I'm on a team of 4.
Nice. That'll be fun.
It'll be fun.
Ready for some swimming?
Well, we don't get to swim. I'm a bit upset about it. It's a bit of a contentious thing for me.
Sounds like my type of competition.
How do you go to the beach and not swim? Don't they always have some type of swimming event?
So the elite individuals are allowed to swim and no one else is swimming. And I'm like, okay, glad that I paid to go to Pensacola to not be able to swim. Thanks. Appreciate it.
You can run in some sand. So
yeah, that's what we get to do. There's some sort of obstacle course run in the sand.
Sounds fun.
So that'll be cool. But yeah, so Saturday, and it is weird too, because Sunday is like we go all day Sunday, but we don't do the other day. So we're going to go down there Friday, and then Saturday we're going to hang out, just watch people and be on the beach.
Don't the individuals kind of do individual and they also jump on a team like for Sunday?
Yeah, I think I think they try to do
think
that kind of like
Alexis
Wodapalooza does.
Johnson used to always do that and a few others.
Yeah.
So that'd be fun. I think Vindicate's going down there. So I think he's
Yeah.
driving down probably tomorrow or something like that to get down there. So
Yeah, Ortega's going too.
Last topic for the night. Brooke Wells, the HWPO. Sydney is staying at Proven.
So remind me or remind everybody, where was Brooke before? Now that she's going to HWPO,
They were both at Proven.
they were both at Proven.
They were both at Proven.
And Sydney made the games, and Brooke didn't. And then
Brooke
Tia
did
was like, "You're just not good enough anymore." So
Is that the official story?
Yeah, go off to Matt because we don't want you here. That's what.
No, I
that's what
think-
happened.
I think they're all friends, but I pointed this out to a couple people in the last few events. I remember looking up. They were in the booths behind where I was standing. Like Jonathan Ortega was standing right next to me. I remember looking up at the booths, and Sydney was in the Proven booth with everybody, and Brooke was in the HWPO booth with everybody, and they were sitting on the exact opposite sides of the booths, like as far away as you could be. And I just remember thinking, like, I'm marrying a twin, like they're never separated, and I was like, that's really weird. And I was like, maybe I'm just overthinking it. Maybe they're not that close. Maybe they're not like that. But I was like, it seems weird. So maybe it's just a stupid story, but I didn't think so at the time.
You think there's some animosity there right now? You think they got some sister grudge going on?
Maybe.
I mean, I got the pre-order or the preview or book. I'm not all the way through it, but
Did she talk about her elbow yet?
I mean, that's kind of the whole book.
How I broke.
I mean,
my
she talked about how they've been always super competitive against each other, right? And so maybe there is some competitiveness there that they may have felt like it was better to separate. I don't know. Do you think it's a good move for Brooke to change scenery and train? Because it sounds like she's not moving. She's just going to go visit occasionally
From time to time.
Yeah. And
Is
that a good move?
Ex-Proven people still living in Nashville.
Because they don't have to go to Vermont.
Well, I mean,
so
Saxon's doing
Saxon,
the same thing. He's not. He's in Mayhem.
yeah. So Saxon's still been training at CrossFit Nolensville. I think Brooke has been as well. And then Proven right now, I've not seen anybody at East Nashville.
Olivia?
Sydney they posted a video yesterday. Sydney was there, but yeah.
Well, Sydney was she was at West
a different
End,
CrossFit,
a different gym, and then a few of them are at Trivium. So I don't know if they don't go to East Nashville when Tia's not there, or they're doing something different. But they've all kind of just been scattered. And I know Nick Johnson said that they just let them. The fall is not go do your thing. Here's the programming, but we're not going to have you be here, because I think Proven's volume is
substantial.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It's a little bit. They run a little bit.
Yeah, they do quite a bit. Is there much to make about changing the game? I mean, do you think that Brooke will have a better season because she goes to HWPO, or is it because she's just going to end up being healthy?
I don't.
It's hard to tell. There weren't that many great performing HWPO athletes.
I just don't care.
I just don't care. Let's just wrap the show up because John doesn't like a subject.
Yeah.
No. That's not what I'm saying. We thought all the hard work pays off. Athletes were going to do great at the games this year, and everybody except Catherine was terrible. Not terrible, but they weren't great. If Brooke does better this year, and what's better, makes the games, cool. You were the freaking 5th fittest woman in the world. Making the games is nothing. That's expected, right? So what
if she makes the games but finishes 20th?
Then I don't think she's a talking point. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Well, no.
If you are okay, it'd be like Brent Fikowski, right? You love Brent Fikowski, So
I do.
Brent
He's my
Fikowski
favorite.
can
I pick him to
be
do well every
fourth-
time.
Can be fourth or second or fifth or whatever. He can be, top 5 in the games, and it's awesome. Wins events is awesome. I would argue has always shown more awesome qualities than Brooke has. Okay, if he gets 16th, like he tends to do some years, we don't talk about him. Well, Brent's not doing as good as he normally does. Next topic. Like, we don't talk about him. If Brooke gets 20th place and then she Fikowski, my bad, I didn't pronounce it.
Yeah, get it right.
I'm sorry. I got to be more humble about it. Maybe I'll announce it better. Let's say 21st, because that means she gets cut, right? She's the first person cut. Like 20th, she's doing the whole weekend, right? I mean, something's probably wrong if she's getting last place in every event. Let's say she gets 21st and she gets cut. I think Brooke has done like her best times are past her. She's just trying, you know what I mean? And like, she's, for lack of a better word, I don't mean this to sound mean, she's irrelevant. Like, if she makes the game, cool.
If it doesn't do well,
21st place, like, she's irrelevant. Now, if she's in the running for like the top 10, then she 100% is relevant, and she can win events, and she has home run ability. She's kind of like Danielle Brandon a little bit, and like the stuff that she can be good at, right? Or like, I'm talking like win events wise, like in that 400-meter sprint type events, right? That's cool. I think way more highly of Brent than I do Brooke. Sorry. Brent is a better CrossFit athlete than Brooke. You know who has more followers? Danny freaking Spiegel. Go supply to her OnlyFans, Patrick. Get out of here.
OnlyFans. Wow.
That's how I feel. Like, if she gets 10th place, if she's in 10th place and she's in the running and she's fighting for, top 10, then she's absolutely relevant. We can talk about how hard work pays. Hard work pays off was better for her then. Like, I don't think that's just a product of her being healthy. I think she had a great training year, right?
Yep.
But if she's 21st or she's like just made the games, I think she's irrelevant. Her best time has passed.
So you think it's more of her, not the training camp?
Yes. Well, yes, I do. I don't think that.
Said the same thing about Katrin, though.
How do you mean?
Well, she was on her way out. To me, I had completely written Katrin off. I was like, this is a ridiculous
I think
notion.
we all did. It was very shocking how good she did.
Yeah. There was a lot to be talked about, Mal, when Matt expanded to make it HWPO, a training camp, and bringing in other athletes. Do you think this impacts Mal? Like, she was going there to be individually coached by Matt. Now she has.
Is she back in Iowa?
Yeah,
she's not in Vermont. Is she?
She's going back and forth, I think.
Yeah.
I've seen her in both. Or at least her Instagram shows her in both.
Mal. We don't know anything about her. You know what I mean? We don't know anything. We know nothing.
I don't think this takes away from Mal. I mean, if it's a good, but then like, I don't know.
It doesn't take away from Mal. If anything, it just hurts Brooke.
But some of the speculation was that she looks small. She's not a big person.
No, she never was.
She's
just really, really fit.
I think you're just realizing that she's not a big person.
Yeah.
I think like we said the same, but we said the same thing about Jason, though. It's like, I think part of his problem was that maybe he wasn't getting the attention that he was before. I
mean, we saw the podium. Almost everybody was not part of a training program, right? That's what Mal was going to, and now she's part of one of the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing, camps around.
Right.
I'm not sure that's what she wanted when she went there, and I think she went along with it from what it sounds like listening to Matt talk about it. I just wonder if that's the best thing for her if she is going to give it another run.
You think she felt trapped?
Of saying, yes, do it. It's
or
okay.
Just saying like, hey, I need to chill for a minute.
What do you mean trapped?
Like, she moved to Vermont. It's basically Marine boot camp week after week. You know what I mean? Your body feels beat down. Matt Fraser, the fittest man ever, says, how are you doing? Are you able to handle the volume that I'm giving you? you're 17 years old, 18 years old, whatever.
And you went out there for that.
And you are the second fittest woman in the world at 18. Are you going to tell Matt Fraser, no, like I need like a couple of days to get my body right? Right? Like I'm not doing good right now.
Mm-hmm.
You think she's going to say that? You know
She
what I'm
obviously-
saying?
Yeah,
Like,
she didn't. And
like,
watching
that's
the
why I
behind the
wonder if
scenes,
she just, so then she's just stuck killing herself. And she could kill herself better than, you know, basically
Most.
everybody else
Yeah.
in the world, right? And then, you know what I mean? Like, I wonder if she just felt trapped because she moved to Vermont. It's not like she can go back to Iowa and go to the movies with her boyfriend, like an 18-year-old should. Like she should do,
Yeah.
right?
Like
You know,
Emma Lawson's going to prom.
going to freaking concerts or whatever.
Yeah,
and
she went to
her-
prom and everything else.
Yeah. If that was the case for her, I could see her just staying in Iowa. But I don't put it past her to be a part of Hard Work Pays Off and like just train by herself at her gym or whatever gym she's going to, and then just, you know, be in contact with Matt like the way freaking Sam Quant does. Sam Quant lives with his family. He has a family, and he just trains in his garage or at the gym. And he's had up and down years. He kind of goes up and down, right? But he still had years where he was the second fittest man in the world, a part of a training camp. You know what I mean? But he trains by himself most of the time, and so he doesn't go to the camps for months. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, something tickled my brain last week when we were on Savon's show talking to Saxon. He was like talking about somebody programming for him, and how like your brain kind of doesn't do all the fighting it should. So it's like I think what we might be seeing is the people who really battle, like thinking about their programming. They're not just doing something that a coach tells them to do. Because there's this thing that happens when somebody's programming for you where you just do it. You sort of think about your results, but you don't you're not vested in that piece. You didn't write it. Was it the best piece it could have been? What did I get out? What I wanted to get out of it?
That's what Saxon said, right?
Yeah. And I think there's something to that. I mean, like if you're like Patrick was saying, Horvath is Krypton and trained there all year. I'd be willing to guess she was mostly responsible for her own training. And Gabby and Christoph trained near her. There's a difference between they trained together all year and they trained near each other all year. I bet they trained near each other.
Man,
and I think there was a video that Laura,
nothing.
I think it was the rad tapes that Laura did. She was like, I'm the boss. Like I make the programming, or, you know, it's like I do what I want to do or do what I need to do. It was a little unclear exactly, but I kind of interpreted it as like, if I'm going to, it's up to me to do what I need to do.
There for guidance. He's not
right.
there.
He's not there just telling her, you know.
Hey,
yeah.
She doesn't
change
listen
the
to
workout
him.
to change the workout to 18 squats, not 25.
How
Stuff
do you
like
think
that.
I should
Yeah.
approach this? Or what do
Right.
you think this person's going to do here? Or like that type of, just to bounce thoughts off.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, he's helping that mental battle. Is like, is this the right way to do this? Versus like, hey, I programmed this for you. This is like what you should hit, and you just go into it without any much thought.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
and I think you have that nuanced approach with the individualized programming versus the coach, like as part of a camp, they just tell you what to do. Right. Like,
Right.
I don't think it was much leeway to say, yeah, that's great. I'm going to go off and do something else instead because I feel like I need to work on this. And there's no discussion about it a lot of times.
And that's what I've always been interested in with Tia and Shane is how much is she involved with like, hey, let's put this piece here. Let's do this piece on, you know, on this day versus like him being like, okay, Tia, this is what we have planned.
I think she has unbinding trust in Shane.
Yeah. I think
that but that would be strange because like to me, like I think she's the best. Like when you look at Matt and Rich, they were 100% in control.
They're not married to their coach.
No, I agree. I'm just saying, like, look at those cases. Those are the best ones for like, this is how you become the best in the sport is you solely think about the thing and you program, you do all of it versus her.
Well,
being the sort of opposite way.
I think Tia got to the fittest woman in the world. And then Matt took her to the next level, like as a training partner, right? Like she saw how Matt
What it takes or what he does.
and so did Shane. Like saw how he is, and that made her like that got her to her ability, right?
This is a non-point. We all watched that video. There's so much
But
context missing from that statement.
It's not a non-point. It's not a non-point, but like I would say, like when Shane goes,
Not your point.
Okay,
Yeah.
one more interval. You said 4. I don't make the rules. One more interval, right? Right, and then she does it. But like you see what I'm saying, like
But
that type of stuff where you spring something on somebody. And
I wouldn't say that's him being in control. I was John. If I were next to you, we don't train together. I'm not your coach. If I was like, do one more, John, you would do it 100%. You would do it because you'd be like, I'm not going to be a bitch.
No, he'd be like,
I don't
no,
have
coach.
an ego.
He said,
I
would do it.
program 4.
I got out of that ice
5.
bath because I wanted to get out of the ice bath. I don't have an ego with that. I know how good I am. I know how not good I am. You know
One more
what I mean?
minute. One more.
Did we ever release that? Did we ever
No, I
release
need to
that
get that out
video?
there. I need to put
We got to
that
get
out.
that out. This is so funny. John just.
I gotta
I'm
track
not
that
good.
down and put
I'm
that
not
on
good
there.
in cold water.
It was so good. And then Sousa just like stone face, like, oh, I'm in a cold tub.
But I mean,
That's
I
amazing.
just think there's something about the married aspect with them. I feel like she just puts all of her trust in Shane, and she happens to be like, like the fittest thing we've ever seen, right?
Yeah.
And like she can take it, and nobody understands how much she could take better than Shane can, right? And then she just happened to be able to keep up with Matt. I think Matt was above her by a lot, and then she over a couple of years got to where he was. I still think he was fitter, but like she was pretty darn close. You know what I mean? As far as top peak level.
Yeah.
So we got 2 options. You can either do all your training and be the captain of your own ship, or you have to marry your coach.
That's the only 2 ways to do well.
Hey,
to be the best.
Jeff Adler, this is over 2 different people, 2 different sexes, and 2 different people. Okay.
Yep. That's how it works.
Good call, John.
That's how you win it. All right, guys.
Oh
That
my
wraps it
God.
up.
I didn't know that I said that like that. Will,
Come on,
but
Will.
you know what? That's
Will.
a great call.
That's for the people who watch live only.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I think that's it.
We got to clip that with no context, and then
Will,
just
that's a good one.
Tia and at Shane.
Now that we know the rosters for Rogue, be looking out for stuff on Heat 1. You can do your top 10 pretty soon. I think it'll take us a couple days to get those in, and then we'll start talking about who to pick.
Do we know when they're announcing events? Do we know anything like that at all?
No,
Who
last
cares?
year they were very secretive.
Didn't they announce all of the events all at once though? When they did announce them? No, they didn't.
No, they were like quiet until they announced. Like literally had the athletes go into the briefing and be like, "Here it is."
Man, good luck, Tyler.
Yeah, that
It'll
was
be
a tough
fine.
one. It was still easier
It'll
than
be fine.
Wodapalooza.
Yeah.
For $1.99 extra sloppy.
Whew, okay.
Rich, Matt, and Sevy.
That's rough. Instead of
Wait.
I'm gonna take the F
Oh,
one, because I don't know if you guys know this. I am not gay, so the instead of F, I'm gonna say just hang out with. Okay, like have a bros night. Okay, I'm gonna
keep it
marry Rich because he's the richest and he has the most money and he'll take care of me. I'm gonna hang out with. It's just hard. You know what? I don't want to hang out with Sevon because he's going to try to have a baseball throwing contest with me, and I don't want to get beat by a 50-year-old man. So I'm going to go ahead and kill Sevon, and then we're going to hang out with Matt and throw down. It's going to be great, and that's my answer to that.
I'm going. See, if you marry Rich though, that's a lifelong
They
bro,
didn't ask
and
me.
he's. I don't care. I'm answering anyway. I'm comfortable enough with my sexuality to be able to answer this question. You got to marry Rich because number one, look at all his fun stuff. He's got 4-wheelers.
Wouldn't you just want to hang with
deep sea
him?
fishing. Yeah, I just want you're marrying a dude you get to hang out with. Yeah, you get the barn, like you get to live in. You get to hang out with Trice. I hope Trice comes with the deal. That
I'm
little
gonna marry him
freaking
and
sidewinder.
divorce him and be like, all
Yeah.
I want is the barn.
I'm definitely effing Sevy because it's going to be the most awkward and least awkward. That situation is going to be so weird. So I'm just going to turn it. It's already got to be a weird situation anyway. I got to have sex with a guy. So if I'm going to go, I'm going all
You
the
took
way
it
up
that way,
on
huh?
Sevy. And then we got to kill Matt. I'm sorry, Matt.
All right, Brian.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.